Broadcasting live from the Buckhead Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Legal Experts.
Good morning and welcome to another Atlanta Legal Experts radio show. I am your host, Emily Rowell with Peachtree Offices. It's a beautiful, bright Tuesday morning this morning. And I have Ryan McPherson with me. Good morning.
Good morning, Emily. You're right. It is a beautiful Tuesday here in Buckhead and ready for another exciting episode of Atlanta Legal Experts.
Me too.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
So now I welcome Tiffany Coleman and Josie Harris-Walton. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And you two are with the Coleman and Walton Law Firm, LLP.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. And I'm going to just briefly read your bios together, and then we'll go on with the questions, if that's okay. So Tiffany Coleman is one of the managing partners of Coleman and Walton. She is a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and received her undergraduate degree in government from Oral Roberts University. After college, she worked as a social worker for the Department of Family and Children's Services for 4 years. Due to the injustices she saw within the juvenile court system, she decided to become an attorney. While still employed as a social worker, she enrolled into John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, Georgia. During her time at John Marshall, she gained invaluable work experience at Atlanta Legal Aid, Fulton Juvenile Court, and the Family Division of Fulton Superior Court. After graduating from law school in 2008, she established her own practice and now handles bankruptcy cases and creditor defense work against creditors. And Josie Harris-Walton is one of the managing partners of Coleman and Walton. Josie is a native of the state of Alabama. While completing her business administration degree from the University of West Alabama, she served in the United States Army Reserve. She attended law school at Samford University, Cumberland School of Law. She also earned her legal master's in taxation from DePaul University College of Law. During her time at DePaul, Josie volunteered as an attorney at the Tax Care Clinic, a nonprofit organization focused on helping low-income taxpayers with disputes against taxing authorities. She also worked at the Internal Revenue Service. After graduating from DePaul, she gained invaluable work experience as a tax attorney at Deming Parker Law Firm and as a senior tax consultant at Strategic Tax Advisors. She now specializes in strategic tax planning and tax defense. Josie is barred in the state of Georgia and Alabama. That's definitely qualifies you to be on the show today. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So go ahead, Josie, and tell me about your start into law. Sorry.
Well, actually, I wanted to be an attorney ever since I was 7 years old. Can you believe that? But I did. I decided to practice tax law. I was in law school. Actually, and my mom is an accountant, so I've always worked with numbers. And while I was in law school, I took a lot of tax courses. Love the tax courses. I think tax is so sexy. And so I decided that I was going to be a tax attorney. So I decided to also get my legal master's in taxation from DePaul University.
Wow.
Yes.
And Tiffany, sorry. That's okay. I got you. You're like almost like twins. I got you confused. Go ahead. How did you get into law?
As a young child, I was always intrigued by the legal system and how it helped people overcome obstacles or injustices. So I enjoy watching Johnny Cochran and learning more about his practice. And that's what inspired me in college to focus in on government. And then while working in the juvenile court system, I really developed a passion for teaching people how to navigate through the legal system and really not speaking above their heads, but pretty much breaking down how they could achieve their rights. So that really inspired me to want to pursue different types of law that would help people navigate through the complicated world of law.
Gotcha. So tell me, how did the two of you meet?
Wow. We had a mutual client, and that was about three or 4 years ago. And then I went to work at Strategic Tax Advisor as a strategic tax consultant all over the world. I traveled for about a year. After a while, I was like, I'm just tired of this. I want to go back and start my own practice. So I decided to start my own practice. And last year, me and Tiffany combined our practice. She has bankruptcy, of course, and I'm tax. And we saw that it was a mutual relationship between bankruptcy and tax. And so we decided to combine the businesses. So here we are.
I love it.
Yeah, and you might be the first tax attorney in here that we've had ever describe taxes as sexy. I have to say that. And we've had quite a few in here, but you can tell you're passionate about it, and you do love it. So what particularly draws you to it? Is it the figuring out of the numbers, or, because there's so much to learn with the tax code out there and so much to be involved with. What about it for you that you particularly like?
I love the fact of maneuvering the tax code itself. I love the fact that with the tax code, the IRS or the federal government tells you what you cannot do. They don't tell you what you can do. So what I do is understand what you can do, and that way I get my clients' tax resolutions resolved. And that's what I love about it. So I love maneuvering the tax code because, like I said, it's so
like
amazing to me. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see her brain working right now.
And are your clients small businesses? Are they individuals or both? Or who are your clients?
They're both. We actually deal with a lot of small businesses, mid-sized businesses, as well as high net worth clients.
And good. And so these days, how does business find you? How do clients come on board?
A lot of times we get referrals from accountants and financial planners because they're in the day-to-day operations of the businesses, and they know when there's a problem, and they try to catch us in time to put out that fire. Or we do try to pre-plan with them. So people are either finding us through their referrals or also on the web through our website and our social media outlets as well.
And when people call you, do you need like all stacks and stacks of documents and go all the way back into their financial records? How much information do you need for a client before you can really figure out what they need?
Typically, we offer to our clients free 30-minute consultations. That gives us a good preview as to what they're facing, and then we can tell them what solutions we can implement, and then we ask them for the information. So when they come in, we're not expecting them to bring boxes of documents. We really want to get to what information we need and then be able to implement their solution from that point. But we love people who have bookkeepers and accountants.
It makes your job easier.
It makes our job a whole lot easier, and it makes it a better experience, I would say, for our clients as well.
Nice.
Tell me, Tiffany, how do you stand out from amongst the attorney world?
I like to say when a client becomes my client, we develop a partnership. And my goal is not to just end their case after the bankruptcy is closed out, but to really help them get on the right foot after the bankruptcy is finished. So I always use the tagline as there's life after debt. So my goal is to see if they need retirement help to get them to the right financial planner. If they need a better credit score, how we can get them to the right resource to help them build from that point on.
I love that. I love that. And you, Josie?
Well, I have an LLM in taxation. That's why I tell everybody. A lot of tax attorneys don't have an LLM because I love tax so much. I went back and I decided to focus on just tax. And also with clients, we stand out because of the fact that we have that one-on-one. We believe in giving you that consultation first to see if we can help you, because we don't want to just say, okay, yes, we can help you, and then at that point we can't. Or you spent your money on a tax attorney when you could have paid your tax liability. So I want to be able to give you that option of what you need to do. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them do need the tax attorneys. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to tell my clients, I did everything I possibly could to help you. And I think that's what me and Tiffany stand. We have that definitely that niche and that closeness to our clients.
And we know what you love about what you do, but what do you love, Tiffany, about your area of practice most?
I like being able to alleviate people's stress. As we all know, stress can lead people into depression and can really just boggle their minds and not being able to move forward. So I've had several clients who were older and were nearing retirement age and just didn't see how they were going to make it. So to be able to teach them how bankruptcy can be a tool to them and not something to be embarrassed about, but really utilize it to help them rebuild their lives, that just really brightens my day and gets me up in the morning.
Well, I'd like to get sorry, Emily.
No, I was saying I love that.
That's great. And get your thoughts on what it's like to be women entrepreneurs. I know that's definitely an arena that some young ladies could use some advice on. So, Tiffany, first, what was it like for you to kind of start your own practice?
It wasn't a choice at first. When I came out of school, the recession had just hit. So I had the goal of working for a nonprofit and was forced into being an entrepreneur, but it has been a great lesson for me and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I think that what helped me the most is putting good people around me and learning early on, if I don't know something, then I need to find somebody who knows the answer to it. So developing a good support team has really been invaluable for me through being an entrepreneur.
Part of your support team is Josie
of
here.
Course.
So she keeps you on track there. And what are your thoughts about, women entrepreneurs and women in the law profession in general and what they can bring to the table?
Well, of course, I worked for a firm as well as a corporation. So I think if you're going to go out and practice on your own, I think you should be an expert in what you do. I love the fact of, and don't get me wrong, you can be an expert in different areas, but be an expert. Like, do your research. Also, don't undervalue yourself. You know what you're worth. So get your worth. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would recommend.
Well, it's great advice. I think there's a lot of young lawyers out there and young women entrepreneurs that could really take that advice to heart and succeed, as you two are.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Now, another question for both of you, and I'll start with Josie. What keeps you motivated day to day?
My motivation is my clients. I love the fact of being able to go to tax court or go to a tax audit. For instance, I had a tax audit that the client owed $50,000 in a tax liability. They were an older couple, about 89 or so, and the representative was just going to their home. He went there like 5 times. Mm-hmm. And when they finally hired me, it took us one time, and I said, let's bring your supervisor. We're going to get this resolved. And I got them down to $4,000.
Wow.
Tax liability. So that is my motivation, the fact of helping my clients to achieve what they need to achieve when it comes to taxes. Because people are. When you say taxes, people are scared. Mm-hmm. But you have somebody who's right there who's going to fight for you. And that's what I want to do.
And you're one of a kind, I can tell you. Like you said, people hear taxes and go,
Yes.
Right. And we've had tax attorneys here before, but they didn't laugh as much as she does. So you can tell that she really enjoys it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Tiffany, what keeps you motivated?
I know it's cliche, and I'm going to piggyback off of Josie, but it is my clients. I had a single mom recently who had suffered through MS, and she had racked up a lot of medical bills. So being able to take that stress off of her so she could focus on her kids and focus on her healing process was very rewarding to me. So waking up and being able to dispel some of the myths of bankruptcy, as well as making people feel comfortable that it's not the end of the world, you're not a failure, but life goes on. That really is my motivation.
That's wonderful. I love that.
No, that's great advice.
They're definitely following their true path.
Yeah, and I think they're a great match for their practice. So if you have some bankruptcy issues or some tax issues, make sure you reach out to Coleman and Walton, LLP.
Absolutely. And tell me, where are you located?
We're located 2310 Park Lake Drive, which is right off of La Vista Road and 285. So we do have accessible parking.
Yes.
And traffic isn't that bad. So come out and see us. We do work with clients all over the country since bankruptcy and tax are federal practices. So we also do consultations over the phone. So if you can't come to our location, please give us a call.
And you serve all of Georgia. And are you any other states or just Georgia?
I practice in Alabama as well. But because tax and, like she said, bankruptcy is federal, we can actually practice anywhere. So just call us.
Fantastic. Yes. And if you'll tell everybody how to reach you.
Yes, website, thecwlawfirm.com. We're also on Facebook at the CW Law Firm and on Twitter, and soon to be on Periscope as well.
Yes.
All right. That must be from the advice of Montina.
That is, and we have to say thanks, Montina, for inviting us out today.
She was on Periscope the entire time she was in here on her episode, and had over 900 viewers during that moment. So we love Montina.
I was a little more intimidated that day.
I know, right? The whole world is not only listening to you, and maybe but they're watching you too.
Yeah. I like staying behind the microphone. Well, thanks again for being here. It was a joy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.